Um, During the Great Depression, things were really, really tough for a whole lot of people. Um, my father and mother have told me stories. My grandfather and grandmother, of course, discussed it. But, and my mother and father were married during the 1930s. So, and then my father went to war in the 40s. But remember this, I think my figures are correct. And at the highest unemployment rate during the greatest part of the Great Depression, I believe unemployment was at 25%. And the way the stories are told by historians and people that want to use slant or whatever, the way the stories are told, the poor people suffered the most, and everybody was out of work. But the truth of the matter is, when you have 25% unemployment, then there must be 75% employed. And regardless of the amount of money that is received for hourly wage or whatever, they were employed and they were eating. The 25% unemployment included a very large portion of that 25% was previously rich. They collapsed all the way from the top. And I've known of stories of people that were rolling in money, and the Depression came on, and they were broke. They lost their houses, cars, everything. Um, well, I know what that's like. I lost my everything basically that I owned myself in 1987. So, but it still wasn't as hard on me uh, as it would have been on many people. But you do have to remember, if you study history, you probably know these things. I know them from the stories that's passed down from my parents and grandparents and my relatives. But most everyone had a garden, or they grew food, or they were literally farmers. And so people had stuff to eat. And there weren't a lot of the modern conveniences that you would lose that made you comfortable. For instance, when I was growing up in the 50s, 1950s, my mother and my sister and neighbors and everybody, they sewed their own clothes. They made their own dresses. We did a lot of our own things. We did our own house repairs. We we did our own plumbing. We did our own electrical. There wasn't a lot of inspections back then, and so people knew how to do things. And one of the amazing things that I see today, in today's world, in the 2023, is that people don't know how to build a fire. I've never seen such. They can't change a tire on the car. They have no idea of the inner workings of the car. In the olden times, if you didn't know how to change your own tire, and it was a little more involved back then, you were probably in a real fix. A lot of things went wrong with cars, and you had to know. How about a horse? I grew up with people who were still plowing behind a mule with a single point plow, and perhaps you didn't know how to take care of a mule. Maybe you didn't know how to take care of your plow. You're not going to take it to the lawnmower shop. You had to know how to do things yourself. And I think that is one of the problems that people will face soon. uh, if disaster does strike this nation, these people are totally ignorant of how to take care of themselves. I mean, people have gas stoves, they have electric stoves, and don't know how to cook. It's amazing. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that subject.